This chainsaw is flooded. I'm going to teach you the easiest way to unflood it. But first, what does flooding even mean? And I'm going to share the top 3 most common reasons why your chainsaw got flooded in the first place. Hey guys, welcome back to Steve's Small Engine Saloon. Thanks for coming back again. I do got to take you through a couple things here really quickly. First of all, what is a flooded chainsaw? A lot of people out there don't know what that even means. A flooded engine simply means that there is too much fuel in the engine. The carburetor mixes a portion of fuel and air together and puts that in your engine so the spark plug can fire that mixture and it will explode in there, it will ignite properly. If you have too much fuel in your engine, the spark plug cannot ignite that pure fuel in most cases. So that's what flooded is, too much fuel in your engine. Now, the other thing is, why? Why is my chainsaw flooded in the first place? I can think of, right off the top of my head, 3 most common reasons that it would be flooded. The first one is from over choking. Over choking means that you go to start your chainsaw and you have it on choke and you just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. And every time you pull it on choke, it's firing more fuel and more fuel and more fuel in that engine. Now it's flooded. It's not going to start. The second one is sometimes you choke it when it doesn't need to be choked. Like for instance, if you are using your chainsaw and you start it and run it and then you put it down for 30, 60 seconds and then go to restart it again and you choke it again to restart it, it's already warmed up. It doesn't need to be choked. So you're choking it maybe when it doesn't need to be choked. The other reason is that there's an actual problem with your carburetor itself. Sometimes you'll just go put it on the shelf and it'll sit there overnight and it'll flood itself if there's something wrong with that carburetor. So at the end of this video, I got a clickable thumbnail there for you, take you back to another video. It's called How to Rebuild a Carburetor. It'll take you through a really common problem that's inside the carburetor on that. So first thing that I did, I took the bar and chain off. Way easier to do this and it's safer if you take your bar and chain off. Why not? We got our tool sitting here anyways. I do have a link on my description of this video to take you back to some parts and stuff. Now, first thing we got to do after that is take the spark plug out. Now have a look at that spark plug right there. That spark plug should be dry. That is completely soaked, wet to the look. Now we take our little flashlight, look right down that spark plug hole. Turn your engine over till the piston comes up to the top. The top of that piston is completely wet. It should be dry also. This chainsaw is flooded. Now what do? We have to get the excess fuel that's in the engine. We have to get that out somehow. So how do we do that? We flip it upside down and we pull the rope to blow all the gasoline, the excess fuel out that spark plug hole, to dry it out as best we can. Now before we do that though, I got to take you through a couple things. Make sure that when you're doing that your spark plug is not stuck in the boot. It could ground itself out. You're shooting raw fuel out of there, spark plug's sparking, you're going to burn your house down, you're going to light yourself on fire. So make sure that that spark plug is not in the boot. Put that spark plug aside. The other thing we want to do is turn the switch off. Put the switch in the off position. Now I do understand there are some chainsaws out there that have what I call a momentary toggle switch on them, an on-off switch, where when you shut your chainsaw off, you hold the lever down, it shuts it off, and then when you let it go, it automatically goes back to the on position. Not much you can really do with that, but if you do have a dedicated on-off switch, make sure it's in the off position. Now we are going to flip that upside down. I'm going to get a little rag here, just in case some fuel actually does pour out of there. Depending on how badly your chainsaw is flooded, you could just do that sometimes, and you'll see fuel pouring out the hole just by doing that. And switch is off, and there's no spark plug in there. Start pulling that rope over like that, upside down, just in case there's fuel also in the bottom of your crankcase. That's why we're doing this upside down. Keep pulling it over and dry that out as best as you can. Now, if you do have access to an air compressor with a little gun on it like that, after you do that, you can put that air compressor just in the hole slightly, not all the way in so it's hitting the piston or something like that, and just blow that air in there as you're pulling it over. Wear eye protection when you're doing that. You're going to be shooting raw fuel right out of there, possibly. And that's going to dry that out a lot. Now, we move on to the spark plug. While you got your air compressor in your hand, dry that spark plug off best as you can. If you're not using an air compressor or something like that, Bic lighter. Warm that spark plug up, make it dry. Blow on it. That's good enough. As long as there's no droplets of gasoline on that spark plug, you're good to go. Put that spark plug back in. We're almost there. Okay, and get that spark plug boot back on there. Now we're ready to start this thing and see if it's actually going to work. I'm going to say to you guys, start it like normal. Start it as you usually start a chainsaw. Because I know the owner's manuals and stuff out there say put it on the ground, either put your foot through here to hold it down, put your knee on it, however they're telling you to do it. That's not what this video is about either. I'm not getting into that. Start it like you normally do, with two exceptions. Don't put your choke on. Make sure it's just in only the run position, because you don't need to choke it anymore. It's already got enough fuel in there to run. And the other thing is, hold that trigger wide open. Get a lot more air flowing through there to blow that out as good as it can. I am just going to start it right here. I'm just going to start it real briefly and then shut it off, just to see if this works. All right, choke is off. It's in the run position. I'm going to hold that trigger wide open. Let's see what happens. What was that? 3 pulls. By the way, with the chain brake right there, if you do still have your bar and chain on that, before you start it, make sure that chain brake's on. Safety always. That's my #1 priority. So there you go, you guys. You just unflooded your chainsaw. I hope that really helped you guys out. I honestly do. I hope I saved you guys some money by doing that. You didn't have to take it into a repair shop and they're going to do a full tune-up on it, because it didn't need a full tune-up. It was just simply flooded. Give me that thumbs up button, guys. I really appreciate that. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. Share this video with your friends. And put some comments down. I'd really like you to put some comments down. Let me know what you thought of this video. That'd be awesome too. Remember, those clickable thumbnails are coming up right now for you to get back to those other videos I was talking about. And until then, Blue Buck Beer, Steve out.